Hi everyone, welcome back to Bare Threads. So I was thinking the other day that I have been slowly building a little collection of sewing patterns, both PDFs and paper versions, and then also the paper printouts of the PDF patterns. And I quite like how I'm storing them at the moment, although it is getting quite full and crowded. But I am enjoying collecting new and different patterns. So I thought I would just share how I've been storing them and how I've got them organised, particularly the PDF ones, because I'm quite happy with how I've been storing them digitally. And I thought I would just share that with you, and maybe it will help people in a similar position, or let me know if you have any ideas of your own or any ways you think I can improve my pattern storage. But yeah, so I filmed both the digital files, and then I've also filmed the paper patterns. So I have everything in a folder called Handmade Clothes, and then within that there are a few other folders. So Patterns and Fabric is actually kind of I would like to buy these things. Photos is photographs of the clothes that I've made. Sewing patterns are sewing patterns, as you might think. And then I also have this spreadsheet, which is a list of all the patterns that I have, both PDF and paper. This screenshot that's just hanging around loose is just something I thought was helpful when working out sizes for kids' clothes, and it just has some guidelines on body measurements for babies and toddlers, so up to like age 6. Obviously, they're not always going to be accurate for every child, but I just thought that was actually kind of helpful when working out what size to make for my son. So this is Patterns and Fabric folder, and this is just fabrics that I'd like to buy, and also it could potentially be patterns I'd like to buy. So there's just a few snips of Minerva and also pound fabrics. I really like this jellyfish terry fabric. Really want to buy that. These are some things that I was thinking of getting around Christmas time, but then didn't. Everything just, I was just running out of money basically because of all the Christmas shopping that I was doing, but I love this fabric, that fabric there. That was Jelly Fabrics, which is another nice shop. So in photos, I've got all the clothes that I've made, and then I have them organised by what the pattern was. Some things I've made more than once, and then some things also have multiple different garments within them. So this is the 8660 McCall's, and it has the little t-shirt. It's a kids pattern. Has the little t-shirt, and then the matching big t-shirt is actually the Metro men's, but it also has the dungarees as well. The Agnes top by Chilling the Buttons I've made a bunch of times. So this is back when I used to like style my hair before I used to take pictures. Then not all the pictures are fantastic. But I used to actually kind of prep for photo shoots and actually do photo shoots. Anyway, oh, this one I've worn a whole bunch of times. That was a very successful make. This was when I was really into sewing in 2019, so I made a whole bunch of these Agnes tops, and they worked out fairly well. It's a pretty reliable pattern that I've had. And then this is a mixture of my stuff I've made for my boyfriend, stuff I've made for my son. So this is the Waves and Wild Lightning legging. They come in a few different length options. So here there is leggings, and then there are also as kind of shorts or kind of knee length as well. And I just thought this was a nice way of keeping track of what I'd made, and it was just nice to take the pictures. And these are the ones that I want to print out. So they have yet to be printed. I actually have a book that I print them all out into, everything that I've made, and then I just write a little bit next to it in the book, pen and paper, old-fashioned, but just what I did, what I made, what fabric I used, what my experience was, whether it worked, whether I've worn the clothes afterwards, kind of a journaling thing. I was going quite well with it, and then I had a child, and then then there was a long gap where I didn't keep up with it. This is the pattern list that I made, and it's kind of like a master spreadsheet that's now going to take 3 years to load up, obviously. But this is all the patterns that I have which isn't a huge amount, I have to be honest. I don't have like as many as a lot of sewers will do. But this is all the ones that have both paper and PDF. I was just finding that it was a little bit hard to keep track of what I had since they were in different places. Um, so I have, whether it's paper or PDF, I have the name of the brand. You can see I've got a lot of Tilly in the buttons. Got the name of the the name of the pattern, and then what type of garment it is. So there are like 2 entries for the Cocoa by Tilly in the buttons because there is a jumper and a dress option. So I did that twice. Whether it's knit or woven fabric, and then roughly how much fabric I would need. Obviously, that is a kind of rough estimate, especially when you have different options within the pattern. So a short sleeve top takes a lot less fabric than a long sleeve top. So it was just so that I could see that like some patterns, like the elemental pencil skirt, only have a meter, so doesn't require very much. And then other things like the McCall's dress on there was over 3 meters. And then this is the kids patterns that I've got. A lot of Waves and Wild stuff. It's just been very, very reliable and quite straightforward to make. And then a couple of other ones. I didn't bother to put down the amount of fabric I would need because he is changing sizes so frequently, and also because his patterns generally don't really take very much fabric. So a lot of times I'm just using the leftovers of mine. And then into the sewing patterns PDF folder, which then has some more subfolders, one for homewares, none of which I've actually made, but I should because I think they would be fun, like the felt breakfast items. Then this is the kids stuff. So I have the name of the company and then I have the name of the garments, and that's just how I've arranged it. I have one men's pattern, which is the Metro t-shirt by Liesl & Co. And I've made that a couple of times, both long sleeve and short sleeve, but I don't have obviously a lot of men's patterns. And then this is the women's patterns. And the only difference here is that I have put on whether it's woven or knit. This is when I was trying to organize the woven and the knits, and then I did put together that spreadsheet. So perhaps the spreadsheet is more useful than having it on the actual folder. But all of the kids ones, apart from the crown that's on there, and they're all for not jersey, knit fabrics. So it's not really something that I need to keep track of so much with my son's patterns. Some of the downloads have loads of downloads and PDF files that you get, and some only have like one or two. It just depends how they decided to put them together, and whether or not they all pretty much will give you the option to print out at home, on like A4 or American letter size paper, or like an A0 where you would send that to like a printer place, like a copy shop, and they would do it for you. So it just depends how many different printing options as to how many downloads you get. Oh, this is the maternity clothes folder, which is within my women's folder. I made a bunch of these. I didn't make the leggings. I didn't make any of the nursing ones. I'd made the wrap top, ruche top, and skirt. They were not super successful, got to be honest. But I did make them. So those are the PDFs. So now I will show you the paper patterns. So this is how I'm storing all of my paper patterns. They're in these like 2 storage bins. There's like the other one behind as well. So the paper patterns are a combination of actual paper patterns that were paper when I bought them, and then also some PDFs that I have then printed out and to put into wallets. So I have these 2 storage bins. This one is a little bit smaller than the one behind. So this one actually, they fit perfectly, the paper patterns, when I put them like in this direction, in this orientation. They fit great across the width. It is getting pretty full in there. And then the other one is also probably even more full, absolutely jam-packed full of these plastic wallets, and they fit in the like opposite direction. Going across this way. There's some A5 ones up in the front and then some A4 ones at the back. These are just mostly from Amazon. And the A5 ones are a little bit harder to work with because they obviously aren't as big, and so I have to fold up the pattern pieces smaller, which makes them like the wallet's kind of thicker. And also it means that I have to fold up the pattern pieces more, which then can make it a little bit harder when you're cutting the fabric out because your paper is all creased. But they were just quite a bit cheaper than the A4 ones, so I just got more of the A5 ones. In this one, it is all one PDF patterns that I've printed out, or all kind of things that I've designed myself for like Halloween costumes and things for my son. There's a lot of my son's patterns in here and like kids patterns, and some of them are not the right size for him anymore that he's grown out of, so they probably should be moved out of here and put away somewhere else. I don't really want to get rid of them because I've printed them out and cut them out and it's effort to do all that. But at the moment, I don't really have any use for them. They're just taking up space. So I could do with sorting through this and shifting out the ones that are too small for him. There are some kids' patterns in here that are too big for him because I've made them for his niece, for my niece or nephew, so his cousins. So that's why I'm just saving them, because then I'll be able to use them for him when he's a bit older. So I have a few that are, like I said, kind of either self-drafted. I mean, say self-drafted, obviously I can't draft anything to save my life. No, not a proper pattern. But like kind of stuff that I've kind of made up myself, and like accessories. And so that's what like these ones are. So I'm just pulling those out. So I've got a cape. This was actually a pattern that I did find online, but that was a cape for my nephew for Christmas. And then this is a mix of some bat wings that I added onto a jumper for his bat costume for Halloween, a crown which was by Waves and Wild, it's a free pattern that you can get, a baby hat that he never wore because it was absolutely minuscule, and then a bow tie which is a pattern by Made for Mermaids. So they're all just kind of, it's a bit of a mixture because like the baby hat would never fit him now, whereas the other ones I could still use again. Parts of the Baby Yoda costume that I made for him, which was a terrible like costume. He looked adorable in it as a baby, but it wasn't a well-made garment at all. And there's some letters when I spell out the word love, and also I made a little campfire for him out of felt, so I just have like the fire pieces that I used. The number 2 when it was his 2nd birthday. And then also the eyes for a ghost costume that I made him, where I literally just stuck some eyes onto a white t-shirt. And then this was some Christmas stockings that I made. And then a lot of these are the kids patterns, but not all of them. So there's the Pick and Mix t-shirt for age 3, so that probably still fits him. And then a dressing gown age 2. But actually I think this is the one that he's still wearing. I'm not 100% sure, but it's really big. The Double Trouble joggers by Waves and Wild, age 6 to 12 months, won't fit him anymore because he's 3.5. A teddy bear pattern. I don't really have any plans to make any more teddy bears, but I can still use that. My only men's pattern, which is the men's Metro t-shirt by Liesl & Co. I've made that a couple of times for my boyfriend, but that's the only men's thing that I have. Oh, this one that I can never get the name right. So it's the Driftwood Dolman jumper or sweater by Waves and Wild. And I just keep calling it Dagwood or Jogwood. It's ridiculous. I don't know why I can't get to grips with this. But this is the age 3. I have had to print it out in age 4 because it's now too small for him. The kids parachute polo and sweatpants, 18 to 24 months. So that would also be too small. The Amber singlet, which is like a tank top by Waves and Wild. So that's age 2 years. That was quite snug on him when I made it, so that's too small. The Lightning leggings, age 3. They may still fit him, they may not. 8660 is a top. You actually get like dungarees and trousers with that one as well, but this is just a top pattern. So that's age 2, so that'll be too small now. Boxers and briefs, so age 3, so they may still fit him. And then this is the Driftwood Dolman again, but age 4, so that's now the right size. The Jackie VT by Waves and Wild. So this is age 5, so I made that for my nephew, so that's too big, but I'll save that for my son for when he gets bigger. This again is the 8660, but these are the dungarees. Again, age 2, so they're too small, so I'll put them to one side. And then this one is just, it says adult question mark. I don't know what it is, but I think it's an adult pattern. but I can't remember what it is. And then these bigger ones are mostly adult patterns. So there's the Balboa skirt. So I've put size 6 from the pattern, but it's actually UK size 10, so I think it must be like an American size 6. So I thought having both sizes would help. The Stylark Laura leggings, the Joanne joggers, which I printed the paper pattern out and then never actually made because I don't have any fabric for it. The Double Trouble joggers again, but these are age 5. I made these for my nephew again, so I just need to wait for my son to get bigger and then I can make them for him. The Greco tee, US size 12, UK size 16, so I made that for my mum, that's why the size is a bit different. The Valley dress, US size 6, UK size 10. I've just made the top version of that, but I really liked it. I want to make it again. I did actually make it in the smaller size, so like the US size 4, and it was too small. I can't find that size 4 though, so I don't know what's happened to it, but it was too small anyway, so I've had to print it out again. The Double Trouble joggers, again, this time age 4, so this is the current one that does fit my son. This is the Driftwood Dolman sweater, but for adults in a size medium, which I actually think is too big for me, and I may need to print this out again in a size small if I want to make it again, which is a bit annoying. Again, I've called it Dogwood, I don't know why. Sew House 7 Elemental skirt, this is a pentel skirt, size 10 US is what I've got there. I Am Lion, so this is a jumper that I made, which I should make again. It's just all these ones like that, they just take up so much fabric, and fabric's so expensive. So this is a Tilly and the Buttons pattern, I think, and it's for me, and I don't know what it is. Again, it's a question mark one. And then this one is a Stylark Barry pants. I actually accidentally printed out the instructions as well, which I don't normally do. They're all just patterns, and I just have the instructions in the PDF on my laptop to save on printing stuff out. But I accidentally printed them out with this one, and that's an Australian size 8. It's very confusing to do sizes anyway, but then different countries do it all differently, and then it's even more confusing. So this smaller one, like I said, is mostly the paper patterns. There's a few empty folders here, and then there's a couple of PDF printouts. So I Am Zebra, which is similar to the I Am Lion from before, Women's Sorbetto top, and the Women's Everyday skirt, which is actually, I like that skirt and I should wear it more, and I should make it more again. So my paper patterns, they're a mixture of ones that I've bought recently, in the last couple of years, ones I've bought quite a few years ago, and then ones that are quite old that were given to me, that I should probably get rid of because I probably won't ever use them, but I kind of don't want to because I kind of like the idea of having old patterns. Just hoarding stuff though, that's the problem. So I have a whole bunch of these Tilly and the Buttons ones. When I got into sewing again in 2019-ish, Tilly and the Buttons was the patterns that I use. They're just so good for beginners. And I just bought a bunch of them. So the one that I made first, I think, was the Stevie, and I actually made the top version, and I made it a couple of times and I really liked it. And that was just, it's for a woven fabric, and it's just so easy to sew. I also made, let's see, a whole bunch of the Agnes top. I've made this at least 3 times, and I'm planning to make a dress version of it. I've got the bodice part out at least for the dress. That one's really nice. The Nora top, I should really make. I really like the t-shirt version of it, the way that looks. But I've not tried this yet. The Coco, I tried to make the jumper with the funnel neck, and it just didn't work right. I just don't think I used the right fabric. I made the Zadie dress, and it's nice. I just think it feels a little bit too big. I don't know if that's a size or if it's just the style of the dress. And then the Dominique skirt, I've made this version twice and really like it. This version, it looks like it's just shorter, but it's not. It's actually a different shape as well, and it just didn't fit me. It didn't work. The problem with this one though is it's cut on the bias, and it just takes so much fabric to make it. So these ones are also some like newer ones. So the Wardrobe by Me fitted t-shirt, I thought this would be a great one for like having a bunch of different like top options, and like just having like a t-shirt pattern, but I really don't like it. Like I've made it a couple of times and it just doesn't work for me. I don't know what it is. This is the unpronounceable Virevolt by Atelier Scammit. I'm sorry. I've made the dress version and the top version. I quite like the top, except I made it so the back and the front were the wrong way round. It's very poofy anyway, and it made it look even more like maternity wear doing that. But I do like to wear it. It's very comfortable. And then this is a kid's pattern. It's the 8660, which is in some of these plastic wallets that I've mentioned. And I have made the dungarees and the top for my son before, but I've traced it around the pattern, which is why it's then in those other wallets as well. Sometimes I'll just try and like copy round and like stuff it back in the pattern thing, but they tend not to fit very well. So these are a couple. This grey and line scout tee I need to make. It's a t-shirt but for woven patterns. I've made it once and I made it a size too big, so I would have to trace it out again, which is what puts me off making it again. But it was like a really nice, it's just a really simple t-shirt. It's a very simple pattern. This is McCall's M7726. I did try and make the shorts and they didn't fit properly, and then I just never went back to them. I should try that again, but you know, shorts and trousers, they're just harder to fit. These Colette ones, I don't think Colette exist anymore actually, but these are the Clover and Juniper trousers. I made them a couple of times. They were wearable, they were okay. They didn't fit great, and I haven't got them anymore. I mean, I've definitely put on weight since I made these, so I won't be able to wear those same ones again anyway. These ones I think, so I've made this tea dress and it did look quite cute, and I made one of these dresses and it looked quite cute. I never love how they style the models on the front. Not to my taste. I don't have the dresses anymore, which is kind of a shame. They did look really nice, but I just did a big wardrobe clear out a while back and just thought I don't really dress like that anymore. I've not even attempted to make these two. And then these ones are ones that I think I got from my mum. So they're much older patterns, and I just like, they're kind of nice to have, but I haven't attempted making them. I mean, they say like size 14. They look like they'd be teeny though. And then these are just some like Prima magazine printout pattern things that my mum gave me again. They're not actually that old, they're 2014, but they're older than some of the other ones. Anyway, that is now pattern chaos that I've got to try and fit back into those storage bins. So that was how I'm storing my patterns at the moment. It may change, especially if I keep getting more and more and more of them. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and please do like and subscribe to see more videos.